Hello, everyone, again, and welcome to the Christmas edition of the Vinyl Community Guncles. We were a lot more Christmassy last year. We had revolving trees in the background, and we had Christmas albums. You're probably just going to go ahead and watch that video instead. But this year, we're going to talk about gift ideas for people who are vinyl enthusiasts. So if you're not into records, but you know somebody who is and stumbled upon this video, we are the Vinyl Community Guncles. We're always talking about album reviews and year reviews, the best and worst of the year. We do artist playlist battles. We have all kinds of fun on this channel. Let us introduce ourselves. I'm Robert Fitton, along with Mike from Hub Tunes, Craig from Craig's Vinyl Plethora, and ladies and gentlemen, the man who was voted most likely to have a record wait on his gift idea list, Richard from Calvin Wazoo.
Yeah.
So yeah, gift ideas for vinyl enthusiasts. Richard. So an idea that I had for a vinyl enthusiast would be very, very simple. The obvious one, but it's really the best, I think, is a gift certificate to a record store. Because I still remember, after all these years, birthday number 10, first time I wasn't given a gift certificate, but I was just taken to a record store and given money. I can spend $20. And I was like a kid in a record store because I was a kid in a record store. And, you get records or whatever but there's something about being a kid and being able to pick out your own thing. I'm sure, the way kids are now, I'm sure they have money flying at them at all angles, and they're in stores picking out stuff all the time. But obviously it doesn't have to be for a kid. It could be anyone. But with a gift certificate, they're picking out their own thing. And I will say that was when I was 10 years old, and I still have all 3 records that I bought after all these years. So obviously that was a pretty good gift. The Beatles Revolver, which was new. It wasn't a new release, but I bought a new one, which was the 1978 press. This was probably 1982, 1983. So it was the purple Capitol label. Help soundtrack, the American one, same thing, new copy, purple Capitol label, and a used white album, which is now my favorite album of all time. It was a cheap one where somebody had ripped, it's the one that's in the frame, so I can't show you, but you'd have to imagine a white album, the gatefold, where the gatefold has been ripped apart and both records put into one sleeve. It is the whitest white album ever because it doesn't even have the 4 pictures in the middle. Those are not, it's just the Beatles on the front and completely white on the back and just one jacket with both records stuck in there. Obviously no poster, no photos, but I loved it and it became my favorite album of all time. So I would definitely suggest either taking, if you've got and there are definitely kids who are interested in records. I know it.
Oh yeah.
I'm in a record store and I see that all the time. Take them to the record store or give a gift certificate to an older person, and hopefully they will pick out something for themselves. Records make a great gift anyway, getting somebody a record if they give you a list, because you're never going to have to worry about the wrong size. Will it fit? You used to be able to say you can get the wrong color, but now you actually can get the wrong color, so I can't really say that anymore. But yeah, so records are a great gift. But yeah, gift certificate.
Yeah, I remember when I was a kid, my mom was always, make a list of the records you want. No. I wanted a gift certificate so I could go into the store and look around and maybe change my mind and stuff. And I have records that I got, when I was a kid for Christmas. I still have them too. Wings Over America was the big one. The 3 LP set. My birthday's in November, and they wanted to get it for me, for my birthday, and they couldn't find it. They couldn't find it anywhere. And then finally for Christmas, I got it. And they searched everywhere for it. And this 1970, well, no, probably 80, and man, I still have it, and I love it. So yeah, records for anybody. Even my birthday was a few weeks ago, and one of my best friends got me a gift certificate. I did not want him picking me out records, and I got to go in and pick out what I wanted, and it was a wonderful day.
Terry did the thing a few times. He did it in himself, and then he also got together with my mom when she was still alive and did it for her, but went on the Discogs wish list, where it's like, if you've got 400 things on your wish list and somebody picks out 4 or 5 things, you still are surprised, but you know that it's going to be something that you want, but you have no idea because it's 5 things out of 400. But Mike has that horror story, though, why you want to give people gift certificates because you could end up with the Bee Gees Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band instead of the Beatles Sgt. Pepper's. So maybe a gift certificate is better than getting or looking at somebody's wish list and ordering right from that instead of going, Sgt. Pepper, okay, here it is. We'll get
I don't have that one anymore.
I have a sealed one, and I love telling people I have a sealed Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band album, and then whipping that out. I should get that, but yeah, I've done that in other videos. Whip that out. Here it is, and it's the,
the I was probably like 10, and I was
/ George Burns version.
Oh, I was so pissed off. I was the angriest 10-year-old in school. I was livid, and nobody understood why. Because all my friends in school wanted that copy. They didn't want the Beatles copy. They wanted the Bee Gees one. And I was just like, no, this is not, I don't know what this is. I was so pissed off. Oh, thanks for bringing that up.
Yeah, Christmas memories.
Memories.
So I pulled a bunch of books. I read books a lot, biographies, and I also I don't have a huge book collection, but I if there's a good photo book, I buy a few of those. But I've been reading a lot of books, and so these were a few of the books I read this year. This one I just finished. This is Jeff Tweedy's third book, and it's super tiny. This would be a great, it's tiny. It's great stocking stuffer. And it's World Within a Song, Music That Changed My Life, and Life That Changed My Music. And he goes through it. It's a super easy read, but at the beginning, the chapters are actually the songs that he's talking about. So you can, I basically skimmed through it. Who Loves the Sun by Velvet Underground, 47. I went and read that chapter, because I love that song. So it's real easy just to go through. It's a quick read. Really well done. Excellent job. If you like Wilco and Jeff Tweedy, highly recommended that. And under $15. I read this one early in the year. And this is Rob Halford's Confess. I had heard how good it was. I wasn't going to read it. I'm not a giant Judas Priest fan. I mean, I was when I was I was more of a fan when I was a kid, when he looked like that. Yeah. But I had heard this was just getting rave reviews. Everyone said it was terrific. So I bought it. It's good. It's really good. The stories he tells are.
Oh, wow. Yeah, you got to prepare yourself, though, for a lot of gay sex.
Yeah. So I read
there's gay sex all through that thing. It's a gay sex book with some music stuff thrown in. Yeah. I mean, every other thing he talks about is some hookup or some, relationship that he's in that he wants to be. It's a sad, it's a torture. He's a tortured soul. He's looking for love. He's a rock star and he just keeps having these hookups, but he wants a bigger relationship. But he also, at the same time, has to be kind of closeted because he's the heavy metal king. And, it's like, I think in his life now he's finally settled down and found somebody. But the whole book is so. It's so torture. I think a lot of people will be able to relate to it, whether you're gay or not, just
I could. I related to it except for the rock star part.
Yeah.
This one, I finished this a couple of months ago. This is Remain in Love, Chris Franz and Tina Weymouth from the Talking Heads. They are married and they wrote this book together. And it's not the actually, I don't even know if she wrote it. I think he just did. But it's not the greatest book in the world. It's the writing's kind of, but I love the Talking Heads, and I dig these two people, and it was a good read, but not the best book of the year. This one, I don't know if this came out this year, but I read it this year, and this is Charlie is Good Tonight. This is the authorized biography. It came out right after he passed away. Excellent book. Great photo of him on the back too. Authorized by
Get your yayas out.
Yeah,
Charlie's good tonight, isn't he?
Yeah, but great record. Authorized by the family, or great book. Authorized by the family, totally cool. Some good stories. A lot of them I had already heard before. If you're a fan of the Rolling Stones, you've heard a lot of these stories. But a very good read.
Here's the Steven Tyler book where you can learn how to make cocaine last longer by putting it in the freezer.
Oh.
So you can get tips.
I didn't learn that in any of these other
tips.
books. And then this was an absolutely terrific read. Probably my favorite book I read this year. This will be my last one. And then I got some picture books I can show later. But this is The Universal Tone, Bringing My Story to Light. It's Carlos Santana's autobiography. If you like Carlos Santana, I do. He's my favorite living guitarist. This is a wonderful, wonderful book about his music, his spirituality, how he got to where he is. And he goes through a lot of his music, a lot of his records, a lot of the hits he talks about, and, the big comeback with that horrible song and everything. But it's a terrific read. Really, really good. Another great photo of Carlos right there. Highly recommend this. And these are all in print.
This was before he was canceled, right? That came out.
He's been canceled. Why has Carlos been canceled?
Read the book. I'm not going to get into that, but yeah, he's on the verge of being canceled. He doesn't stop talking like that. But yeah.
Okay.
Well, I got some really inexpensive idea, and then I also have a couple books there for this round. But if you're out shopping for records and you're already into a lot of different record stores, a really easy gift idea for a friend, buddy, whomever, who is also a vinyl enthusiast, is check out the record mats that store has. Sometimes they're free, okay, especially if you buy enough records. Sometimes they'll throw something in. So like, this one is from a record store that I've been to in Traverse City. So it creates kind of an interesting thing to change what your turntable looks like. So, or you might even think about a cork record mat for a turntable. They're really nice. That's what I use most of the time. For a while, though, I was using the felt ones. But great stocking stuffer. And a lot of times you can get for free.
And then they'll be like, was this free?
It is
no.
A couple books.
For that.
And lighter than a record weight.
Yeah.
I'm not going to recommend I recommend a record weight, but not as a gift. But that's just never mind. But a couple of books. I don't want to give too much fodder for later. There is a couple books though that I would strongly recommend. This is a fantastic book. It's called Bear, and it is the life and times of Augustus Owsley Stanley III.
I was going to read that.
This is an incredible book, especially if you're a Dead fan. And even if you're not a Dead fan, if you're a fan of Vitamin A, then you would probably be really interested in about this, because he is the guy. I would never realize how genius he was. They talk about his background really was in chemistry, and he was a genius in chemistry, and they analyzed his version of LSD with the original coming from the Sandow's laboratories in Switzerland, and the consensus was that Owsley acid was better.
Yeah.
The other really good, if you're a Pink Floyd fan and you are kind of dabbling in the early Floyd regarding Syd Barrett, I recommend this biography. This is Syd Barrett and Pink Floyd, Dark Globe. This really goes into a lot about Syd Barrett growing up, how he met Roger Waters, and even Gilmore, that they all knew each other when they were teenagers.
Yeah.
And it kind of goes through. So after reading this, I kind of was thinking, Syd took a lot of acid and kind of flaked out, but there was more going on to his sudden unwillingness to participate in the band. I think there was a lot more going on, Roger Waters, than I think.
I like that cover.
Yeah.
I like that photo.
Great album.
He was so handsome when he was young.
Oh, he was. He was
He
such a
really,
looker.
really was. For like a
Man, was
3-4 year
he?
period, he was very handsome, and then it
Yeah. So yeah, for the first round, that's what I would recommend. Is some fairly from virtually free gifts to moderately priced.
Well, if you want to make it a holly dolly Christmas, don't get Rockstar.
Do not get that Rockstar thing.
Don't
Please,
get Rockstar.
God's sakes.
I can't diss it, but okay. But actually, so thank you, Danny After Dark, for this beautiful cup. But so it's already kind of been a holly dolly Christmas for me because stuff has been sent to me and it's not in boxes saying that they're Christmas gifts. There's just my name on it. I still don't know who sent this to me, but this is really cool because this is called Songteller. And Dolly goes into like tons of her songs and where she was at when she wrote them. There's really great pictures and stuff. So it's a really good like behind the scenes of how she writes her songs. And this one came out a couple years ago, but I just had never got it. So whoever sent it to me, thanks. But the photo that's on every single T-shirt in the world now.
There is a building right down the street from me, about 2 blocks away, that they have that painted on the side of their building.
Yeah, it used to be one of my favorite images until it was on everything. Actually,
it's a great photo.
Oh, look, see, it's there. Oh! It's on everything. I have like 3 T-shirts because people buy me Dolly. They see Dolly and get it for me.
That's a nice looking.
And it's all the same images. And then this one just came out, and I do know my friend Jackie sent this to me, but this is about her outfits, so behind the scenes. And again, just very fascinating. There's a great thing in there with Cher. So that could be fun for the Dolly enthusiast. Gotta mention her, but I have other thoughts in my head for later. So there you go. Holly, if you want to have a holly dolly Christmas. Yeah, you don't necessarily want to get an album, maybe do something different.
Well, they're great. Books are great because somebody who loves Dolly. I would never buy Craig a Dolly record. Never. Because number one, he either has them all.
I do.
Or I don't know which ones to buy. I would buy you a book. If I were going to buy you something for Christmas, which I might, I would buy you a book or a Dolly glass. But Danny already got you one.
Yeah, isn't that cute?
It is cute.
They used to have those like Beatles glasses at the.
I had some.
Places like Target and whatever. Those things were everywhere. I got some of those. But yeah, as far as books though, I like the to read about like the Steven Tyler one. I've read the Keith Richards one. I've read I've read the Paul Stanley one and the Peter Criss one and kind of compared just 2 totally different stories for being the same story. But I really like the coffee table like reference books that you can just pick up and go to a certain section or just look at the photos. Here's the Pink Floyd. This is Pink Floyd of all of their album covers. It's the images of Pink Floyd, and it's behind the, it gives the information on a lot of the album covers and the backgrounds and the photography and all of that. If you've seen the new documentary on hypnosis, which is pretty cool. Really,
it's phenomenal.
Insight. Yeah,
it's phenomenal. What a great documentary that is.
But yeah, it gives you all of the information. I love this book, and these things are usually
thread on the VC. There was a thread about hypnosis covers.
Oh, really? I have that hypnosis book. Where is that?
But yeah, that would be great. A hypnosis book. I would love to have that. Here's Elvis Presley's all his album covers, not just the usual ones, but ones from all around the world, and the different variants and stuff like that. And the thing I love about books like this is, you can just open it anywhere and, you can just start reading about whatever. And a lot of it is the photos, but, you have it in your hand. There's something about, and it's probably because I'm older or whatever, but there's something about looking at this instead of looking online and looking into a light in a monitor or whatever, then just sitting down on the couch with this right in front of you and just going through and just seeing all of the different variants. It's funny, you can see how in certain territories like Spain, it'd be the same album cover, but they've darkened Elvis's skin a little bit on his face to make him look more like Spanish or whatever. Just craziness like that that's kind of done. these huge coffee table books like just rock and roll, which
Jesus, that's huge.
Yeah, it's huge. It's put out unfortunately by the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I don't endorse that, but these DK books, it's got that little DK logo. It's huge. This thing is heavy. But these things are at like Barnes and Noble and what's the other store? Books A Million or whatever. These things are always on clearance for like $10 or something. So they're really easy to find. Here's one on where did it go? Album covers, just basic album covers and the stories behind those, the greatest album covers of all time. I just love these books like this that you can just open anywhere and just start reading.
Yeah.
And the whole page is a cover on the right and the story on the left. It's a pretty great format they got going there. But going back to my childhood again. This is a great one too. Speaking of my childhood, this is called Rock Dreams. And I can't even show you all the photos in this, but David Bowie's Diamond Dogs. That guy did all kinds of illustrations in here of the Beatles, so it all looks like that type of like blurry kind of dreamy thing. There's the Beatles. He did all kinds of illustrations. There's Jimi Hendrix.
I've seen this book, I think. Yeah,
it's from the 70s. It's called Rock Dreams, and I got it when I was a kid for Christmas, and whoever got it for me did not realize there is nudity in this magazine. There's like Janis Joplin painted like she's totally naked, full frontal and everything, and so this book got taken away from me for a while. But here's the one I loved. It was given to my this is another one, the Beatles. This is one I wanted to show. Similar to the Dolly Parton one, where every page just talks about a song, so you can just basically, you don't sit down and read it cover to cover. You just look for the song that you want, and like the Led Zeppelin one, there's the story of I'll Be Back. And it's by album. There's a story of You're Gonna Lose That Girl. But this is my favorite. I got this. My brother got this for Christmas because when you've got a super music fan like I was when I was a little kid, you want to give the brother this so we can fight over it. And I will probably actually find the little clip of me and my brother fighting over this on Christmas. This book of album covers. I had this since I was like 6 years old, maybe 7 or 8. And it was always my goal to have every single one of these albums. And I'm almost there. But yeah, every single one of these. And I grew up just, as a little kid, just staring at this thing. I know every page of this. And just always wanted to have all of these albums. And so, yeah, the face of rock and roll. This thing is falling apart. But yeah, books are great. But I definitely think that the reference books where it's just you can just open it anywhere. Those are great.
I prefer those too, and I'm going to show a few of those. I have that. This is the Hypnosis, the complete Hypnosis catalog.
Oh, so it's got all of them?
Yeah, it's got everything they've ever done.
Because that's the one thing about the documentary. I wish they would have expanded a little bit on other. They just seem to do 10 or so and really broaden those instead of.
They could have done a mini series, 3 episodes or something. Yeah, but yeah, this is it. The complete Guide to Hypnosis catalog. You can get this on eBay, like I did, and it's I don't know if you can see that. It was from the Denver Public Library.
Oh.
We definitely don't have a library that cool.
Book. What a terrific book, and it's got all the hypnosis. So yeah, you can find it out there. So I have 3 more books. It'll be real quick. I love picture books and reference books. Robert's right. I love shit like that where you can just open anywhere and just start reading and then put it away and then come back to it. And I do it all the time. This is Debbie, Harry, and Blondie. Picture this, Mick Rock, the great photographer who passed away, I believe, this year, actually. This book is terrific. I mean, holy shit, look at this woman. Wow. I mean, just great photos of Debbie Harry at her peak. Come on. She's a fucking rock star. And then there's some good pictures of the whole band. So it's a really good book. I highly recommend this, and I think I got this for $15.99. It's super cheap. This one is one of my favorite picture-y books, reference books, kind of things. Cosmic Brian turned me onto this. check out his channel. He's got such a great channel. But Cosmic Brian turned me onto this many years ago when I first started watching videos. I don't think I was making videos, and he talked about this book, and it's called Psychedelia: 101 Iconic Underground Rock Albums by Richard Morton Jack.
Oh, yeah, that's the one. That's the one.
Oh my! This is a great book. It's just spectacular. It's absolutely.
I always meant to get that.
Yeah, you can still find it. I mean, you can get it on, eBay or something. But, and of course it does Beatles, but it also does Buffalo Springfield, and it's got all kinds of Chocolate Watch Band, and it goes pretty obscure. I mean, it'll go really obscure. The Natural Fairy Tales.
Does it tell you how the Chocolate Watch Band, what their name means?
Well, I could go back and I'll thumbnail it because there's a nice article on it. I don't want to know. I actually do know, so we're not going to talk about it. It's Christmas. Don't ruin Christmas. But yeah, just a really cool site. If you're into psych music, this is an absolute must-have book. It's so good. And then my last one I'm going to show is I love rock photos. I love Mick Rock, and I love Jim Marshall. I thought Jim Marshall's photos were spectacular. And this is a great book. It's called Match Prints, and it's basically he'll do like two photos. I don't even know if he curated this. Yeah, maybe he did. Ray Charles, obviously. Here's a great Aretha Franklin. I mean, just wonderful stuff. Here's John Lennon and Julian Lennon. Let's skip. Michelle Phillips, Then and Now. So there's a lot of then and now kind of photos. Well, this is definitely not Michelle Phillips now. This is probably Michelle Phillips 1984. It's definitely not Michelle Phillips now. And the gorgeous Michelle Phillips from the Mamas and the Papas era. But a really, really cool book. I love photograph books. I don't buy enough of them. I should buy more. But if you're going to buy me something for Christmas, buy me a book. Because I dig books. And I don't buy them. I buy books. Like, I'll buy a lot of, like, autobiographies and stuff like that because I like reading that. Before bed, I'll do that. But I don't buy enough reference books and, like, photo books. I don't. And some of them can be really pricey. These ones happen to be really cheap.
But you can go back to them. I don't know how many times never really that I've gone back and read the same biography twice or what. Yeah. I mean, reference books, you can go back again and again,
Right. Yeah. Right. Another gift idea that, spending maybe a little more money, if someone has some posters, all right, of whatever their favorite artist or whatever. And maybe all they've done is they've tacked it up on the wall or something like that. A nice gift idea would be to, Michael's is a great place to do this, is, get that poster from them, take it to Michael's and get them a frame, get the poster framed, and then, spend the money on the non-glare glass because it really does make a difference. Also with the, it's going to be more expensive, but yeah, it does protect the poster. And I think it's probably passed for the month of December, but there's usually a weekend every month where all custom framing at Michael's is 50% off. So, there is a
so it brings it down to $300.
Yeah. Well, I've gotten some posters framed for, less than, it's going to be around $100 mostly because of, the non-glare glass. That's where you're going to really pick that up. But, hey, that is a gift idea.
Well, you can just get a frame too. Just go buy a frame.
If you know approximately the size of the
most posters are around the same size, and they have those. A movie
they have
poster
the frames
size
already. It works. It's great. It's better than then they can put their poster instead of just tacking it up on the wall. Then they've got a decent frame, and you can get frames for like 30, even big frames for like $30 or something like that. This was actually a gift that I received recently, and I think it's a great idea for people who are blues enthusiasts, and this is a book and CDs. There are 4 CDs with this. This is Hear Me Howlin', Blues, Ballads, and Beyond, as recorded by the San Francisco Bay by Chris Strakowitz in the 1960s. And there's 4 discs. It's an incredible collection here. I mean, you've got, more familiar names like Sonny Terry, and Book of White and Lightning Hopkins, but then you've got these other people like the Skid Band, the Fondettes, Hackberry Ramblers, Tony Brown. There's a blues group called The Joy of Cooking. And a lot of these recordings were never released. This is the first time they were released. So, on the inside, all right, so we've got the two CDs here. And then you've got a book that talks about the different bands and the recordings, with some, photos. And then, on the back cover are the other 2 CDs, and they're very cool CDs. I mean, they've got that etching on there. I looked it up. So this is a very reasonably priced book that there are some copies available right now in Discogs. It was published in 2010. So, and it has not really super appreciated in value. I mean, you could probably get it for $40, something like that. But yeah, it's just a really amazing. So if you know somebody who is a blues enthusiast, and I am a big time blues enthusiast, this is a really great gift to give somebody.
A nice book like that and 4 CDs for $40.
Yes,
that's
a very obscure, a very obscure recordings.
I like the artwork on the cover too.
So and then I have one more, but that's if you want to spend a lot of money on your friend.
No, on her friend. I don't want it. So gift cards, obviously, I bet everybody's said it. Gift certificate, whatever. That's just easy if you don't know what to give somebody. What I like to do if I do give somebody a record, it's actually not really going to have anything to do with them. It's going to have everything to do with me, because it's going to be something that is important to me, that I love so much that I wanted to share it with somebody else. And I would do like a nice little card and an explanation of why this record is important to me. But I also judge on the person that I would do that for. It's like, I'm not going to give this person this record because they're not going to listen to it. But maybe it's a genre that I feel like they would enjoy. But I've had it happen before where it's like I would never have listened to that album had you not given it to me and explained why you did. So that's, if I'm gonna buy a record for somebody, unless it's something I really, really, really know that they want and they don't have, then obviously I would get the record that they would want. But
and you just said something really important too, Craig, is like a card. If you're gonna get something for somebody, do a specialized card. It doesn't even have to be a Christmas card. Even at Christmas, find a musical card. You go into any bookstore or even record stores nowadays, you go in, they have a postcard rack or they have a gift card.
Oh yeah.
Every record store has them. And a lot of those racks are filled with like local artists who make their own art. I think, Craig, I sent you a couple.
Yes, I have some Donnelly & Porter ones.
Yeah, and they were like $3 or $4, and they're handmade by a local artist, and they're fun, and they're fun and kitschy, and cheap.
So going back to record supplies, one thing that people who collect records usually like to do, especially when you're doing new records or you want to keep your records in really good condition, is poly-lined inner sleeves. Everybody could use a packet of those, or even some of the outer sleeves. But the outer sleeves don't really make that great of gifts unless you know exactly the kind, because there are different kinds and people have so many different preferences. But the inner sleeves, basically everybody wants the same kind, the poly-lined ones. There are 2 kinds of those. You either have the kind that's paper on the outside, poly-lined on the inside, or just poly-lined altogether, like the MoFi ones. There's Vinyl Style makes those. There's all kinds of different brand names for
Big
those.
Fudge.
Big
Fudge,
Fudge
yes,
makes
yeah.
those.
Fudge. You can get 25. You can get 50 for like $20 or something.
Yeah. Bags Unlimited, does it
Yeah,
as well.
Bags Unlimited, great stuff too.
But yeah, that's something that somebody can always use. It's very useful, and you buy new records, and people want to put them in those poly sleeves because a lot of times they come in the paper sleeves, and it's been kind of talked about how paper sleeves, today's paper sleeves aren't the best, and then records from the past that would be put in those hard cardboard. Sometimes they would come in cardboard inner sleeves. And those are the worst. Paper sleeves, I don't have as big of a problem with. Cardboard inner sleeves, I can't. There's all kinds of albums that have.
Oh, they
those.
still sell them with cardboard inner sleeves, and I swear, I scratched an album the first time I pulled it out of that cardboard sleeve.
Yeah, little particles get in there, and it just scratches them up when you pull them in and out. So yeah, people want to put those in polyline sleeves, so that would make a great gift as well. Some polyline sleeves, not so much the outer sleeve protectors. Like I said, people have different opinions about which ones they want, and there's different kinds of those. So polylined inner sleeves.
Yeah, no, that's a great call.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I'm actually out, so if anyone wants
There you
to
go.
Mike,
and if people can't use them, they'll be able to use them eventually because people run out.
Yeah. Just so this is in the event that you're a gunkle with some disposable income, or a lesbiante, that you might have,
or a mom buying for her son, or a husband buying for his wife, or a brother buying for his sister, or sister buying for her nephew. Well,
all right.
Sisters don't have nephews, but my sister. Anyway, what?
Guncles and lesbiantes, tend to have a little. Well, lesbiantes usually have their own kids, so anyway, but. Something, if you know a younger person in your family who is getting interested in records, take a look at their equipment and see what they're using.
Jesus.
And their stereophonic equipment.
Oh my God!
Have somebody in prison.
Yeah, Rich.
I was agreeing.
I mean, I know a lot of young people start with some very basic turntables, and that, and I don't, they only have so much money, and I don't want to demean, what somebody might start off with. But as somebody else, who may have some money to give them like some basic equipment, my recommendation is there are a lot of turntables that, in fact, most of them, they come with preamps already in the turntable, and then they make speakers that have the amps in the speaker, so you don't even have to buy an amplifier. So you can start off with a very basic, for example, Fluence turntable. It costs you around $300 for the lowest model, and then Klipsch makes bookshelf speakers that are very good, and they have the impetus. So they have something, a turntable and speakers that one, they'll have a turntable with a better stylus on it, and it'll take care of their records that they are starting, to grow their collection, and then they'll have decent speakers to listen to that. So yeah, if you're someone who's got, a young person who is getting started, and you want to help them along the way, and you have the money, because this is not a cheap gift. Altogether, you're going to you'll easily spend $600 or so to get even a low level turntable and low level speakers. But hey, you're going to be remembered.
You can also ask them what kind of turntable they have, and then go on Google and look up replacement stylus or replacement cartridge for that.
That's a very good idea.
And just get them a stylus, because even if they have one and they love it, it'll eventually wear out, and they will already have your replacement ready to go that you gave them, and it might be an upgrade from what they already have. It might be just a replacement.
When I bought my first turntable, I had the idea that I was going to upgrade to a better turntable, But then when it was time to replace my stylus, I upgraded the stylus. And I'm like, I have no desire to change turntables because upgrading the stylus made such a huge improvement.
Yeah, it's all about what actually is touching the record. But you do have to find out what turntable they have. Not all cartridges
Make sure you match.
Right.
Yeah, go with all turntables.
Yeah.
Does Craig have any more ideas? Or do we move on to things not to get? There always has to be the negative. And I thought of two.
Okay.
Do not get your vinyl loving friends or relatives bowls made out of records and things that distort. I've gotten those, and they're just terrible. You ever seen that they will melt down a record and make it into a bowl? And they're always
no one's ever got me one.
Oh my God! Don't do that. Don't get the cutout record coasters where they've taken a Herb Alpert or a Al Hurt record, and it's the label. They never use like quality. Oh, thank you. Yeah, don't do that. Nobody but Mike wants those.
No,
not a lot of Mikes in the world.
This one right here was given to me from the owner of that record store we went to, Round Trip Records, the small one where he was taking photos of us. He gave me this. It was a free promotional thing. Yeah, there you go. It was a free promotional thing, and you know why he gave me this? Because I bought this record from him that day. He's like, hey, you want a coaster to go with it? And it happened to be the record I was buying.
Okay, well, that's a very, very rare. Usually it's Al Hurt, and it's
it's usually
like that. Don't give those as gifts. Don't give record cleaning stuff as gifts because
you just took mine.
Yeah, don't do that because there's 80% of that stuff is shit.
Garbage.
Some of it is so bad, like Boundless. The big Amazon brand that will actually ruin the record. So do not give cleaning products. That is a whole rabbit hole you have to go down. Unless you're a vinyl enthusiast yourself and you know what works and what to stay away from and whatever. Obviously, then you're going to know what gifts to give. But if you're not really sure, you don't know, but you just know somebody, do not get because that's an idea that I can see going right and popping in. I'll get him something to clean the records with. It's a totally great idea. It's totally an innocent thing, but it's something you do not want to do in reality because there's so much garbage out there. You want to just not do that.
Yeah, that was mine. Sorry. No. Definitely.
Or stylus cleaners or any kind of cleaner. You don't do any of
that. That's very personal too. I think that's the kind of stuff the person needs to research it and do all that stuff on their own and figure out what they want to use and what they don't want to use. Yeah, don't give cleaning supplies.
Yeah, with the stylus cleaners, my thinking is nothing should touch the stylus except the record.
Yeah.
So I use canned air to
blast the stylus out of whack so that it
doesn't do anything. Just you don't go you don't do a fire hose kind of thing on it. But
is there a graphic where the circle with a line through it that we can put up on that later? Don't do that.
I'm sure you'll find one.
Probably.
But those are some don'ts. Don't do the cleaning.
You know what? You know what you shouldn't do is buy somebody don't buy anyone a Guns N' Roses record.
Well, like Craig was, like we were saying before, you don't want to buy records necessarily unless you know what the person likes or unless it's something personal to you that you are giving because you want to share it. But don't go into a record store and ask the question, hey, what's the hot record? Oh, all the kids love this. I don't even know who's Nelson fucking Rockefeller. Who does a Norman fucking Rockwell record? What is that?
Lana Del Rey.
Here's Lana Del Rey, and so you get the Lana Del Rey record. Or everybody loves Taylor Swift, so you buy the Taylor Swift record.
Yeah, don't do that.
And they're like, Taylor Swift, don't. Yeah, unless you're going to give it personally, like Craig was talking about, or unless the person loves Guns N' Roses, does not have this rare album called Appetite for Destruction, but they have all the others, I would not. That's why we're doing this video with accessories and books and other ideas, gift cards, inner sleeves. And
the only time I would buy somebody, even like you guys, I don't even know if I would buy you guys records, But like something like Richard showed with that blues record, that blues book, and that's something like you should do. Not like a specific artist, unless you know. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you might hear somebody having a conversation one time like, hey, I'd really like to get that record, but I'm not paying that price for it. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Then you can get them that record because you know they're not going to buy it. Yeah. Like Craig did with the Dolly Parton Monument singles and gave me one of the best birthday presents ever because I had said, that is way too much for a record. I'm not paying that for a single record. And then the next thing you know, it's a birthday gift. So now I have a record that I wanted, but and didn't have to pay for. So thank you again.
You're welcome.
Craig gives the best gifts, just so everyone knows.
I try.
What's your shirt, Craig?
Huh? It's
the Christmas Story.
Oh.
Except it wasn't fudge.
Mm-hmm.
Although I heard my father say that word multiple times, I couldn't just say that, so I had to make up a story. And then the kid gets beaten on the phone. Yeah, good times.
It's been a minute since I've seen it, actually.
Wow.
That kind of goes with his hat. Looks kind of like the. If he turned it the other way, it would look like the hat that the kid was wearing in the.
I've never watched that movie.
What's his name? Zach something?
Really?
I've seen it maybe once.
They used to play it on TNT like 24 hours a day.
Oh,
like,
God, yeah. TV
I don't like.
No, that's
Yeah.
and I hate watching movies on TV because of the commercials.
Yeah,
I can't stand the editing. I made up my mind when I was fucking 14 years old that I am never watching another movie on, syndicated channels or TNT or TBS. I mean, when I saw Porky's edited for television, that did it for me when I was 14, and I made this promise to and I went, 35 years with never seeing another movie on. But I don't think they'd have to edit that much out of A Christmas Story. But they'd edit stuff for time, and they'd speed up. Yeah. They started speeding up movies later on, and it's just ridiculous.
And then all the commercials, it's like shit. You go through 5 minutes of commercials.
Yeah,
after 10 minutes of the movie.
Yeah, I don't know about that. More like 7 or 8, from what I hear. That's how radio was. But
it was fun.
So those are the do's and don'ts of Christmas gift giving. So hopefully you got something out of this video, or at least we're entertained by it. I'm sure vinyl record collectors that usually watch our videos are like, yeah, duh. But hopefully we were at least entertaining. Thank you so much for watching us. Have a happy holiday season. Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. Kwanzaa, whatever they say before that.
Yeah.
Wonderful Kwanzaa.
Or just have a nice day off from work.
Hey, just have a good time. Because it doesn't have to be a nice day. It's the only one you got, and it's coming, ready or not.
Here comes Santa Claus.
Write down Santa Claus Lane. I thought he came to your house, but apparently he just comes down Santa. I thought he came down the chimney. Have a happy holidays, everybody. Once again, we are the Vinyl Community Guncles. I'm Robert Fitton, along with
Richard at Calvin Wazoo.
Craig's Vinyl Plethora.
Mike at Hub Tunes.
We'll talk to you again next time.
Happy Christmas.